In substitution, the goal is to get a variable by itself. Do you see how y is already by itself on this one? Y is negative 8x. Everyone agree with me? That's what it says. Okay, so wherever we see a y in our second equation, we're not going to call it y anymore. We're going to call it what? Negative 8x. So let's rewrite this equation. So I have 2x plus 4. Instead of y, what's the new name for y or the other name for y? Negative 8x. But what do you think I should do here before I write it? Parentheses. So we're going to put that negative 8x in parentheses equals 0. Literally substituting one yellow for the other yellow. That's why it's called substitution. Okay. And the reason we do that is because now we only have one variable, right? We only have x's to deal with. So we can actually solve it. So let's keep solving. If these are right next to each other, what is that implying? Multiplication. So I have 2x. And then what's 4 times negative 8x? Negative 32x, right? Can I put that 2x and that negative 32x together? Yeah, what is that? Negative 30x, good. Equals 0. Well, I still got to get x by itself, still got to keep solving. Divide by negative 30. What's that going to end up being? 0. X is 0. Okay. Now, but remember yesterday when they met at a point, which was an x comma y. Well, you only have the x so far. How do you think you're going to find the y? You plug in this 0, right? We know x. Let's plug it in. Let's plug it in up here. Why not? Y equals negative 8 times 0. Now you can plug it in the top or bottom. It doesn't matter. It just looked easier to put it in the top one. So that's where I'm going to put it. Well, what is negative 8 times 0? 0. So what's y? 0. So x comma y. 0 comma 0. Otherwise known as the what? Origin. Good. 0, 0 is the origin. Let's try another one. Which variable looks like it's already by itself? That bottom one, that y equals negative 3, right? Y is negative 3. That's what it's saying. So wherever I see a y in this equation, I'm going to put in a negative 3. So swap them out. Negative 3x minus 5, parentheses, negative 3 equals 6. What do I do now? Yeah, just keep solving, which should be like multiplying there. So I have that negative 3x, nothing happened to that. What's negative 5 times negative 3? Yeah, positive 15 equals 6. Now I just got to keep solving for x. What's the next step? Subtract the 15 first. Yep. What's 6 minus 15? Negative 9. Now what? Divide by negative 3. What's x? X is a positive 3. Good. How am I going to find y? I could plug it into the top one or what? It's already there. It's already y equals negative 3. It's right here. If you plug it in, you're going to get out negative 3. So it's not wrong. You just did extra work. So 3 comma negative 3. You better get that answer out and make sure it works. So you have negative 3 times 3 minus 5 times negative 3 has to equal 6. That's a great way to check to make sure you're right. Well, what's negative 3 times 3? Negative 9. What's a negative 5 times a negative 3? Positive 15. Positive, sorry. Negative 9 plus 15, is that 6? Yeah, it has to work in both equations. I did. I plugged it in here. If you want to confirm and make sure that 0, 0 works, plug in 0 for x here and for y, and make sure that this side equals this side. Then you know for a fact that you have the right answer, because they have to work into both equations. Okay, So y is -3 is what this says, right? Well, which one's my y, the 3 or the -3? So -3 equals -3, so that makes sense. Yep, good question. Has to work in both top and bottom. Let's try 13. So I see y is 2x, right? So wherever I see a y in this equation, I'm going to put in what? 2x. So I have 3x plus 3 parentheses 2x equals -18. Everyone understand where I get that from? Okay. Now we multiply. I got to keep trying to get it by itself. So, well, 3 times 2x gives me 6x. Everyone agree? Okay, now what should I do before I do anything else? Add like terms, right? So 3x and 6x is 9x. Divide by 9. -2. But that's x. I still have to find y. It looks like it's going to be easier if I plug in that x on the top one, but it doesn't matter. Y equals 2 times -2, which is -4. So -2, comma, -4. Your x, comma, y. Make sense? Okay, let's turn it to the other side. The other side of your paper. Let's look at number 10. Okay, the goal is to get a variable by itself. Do I have a variable by itself? Yeah, I actually have 2 of them. So I get to pick which one I want. It doesn't really matter. So I see that y is this junk right there. So wherever I see a y in this equation, I'm putting that in for that. So instead of y, I'm going to say this stuff right here. So -3x plus 4. Remember, I'm swapping them out for each other because you're literally substituting it in, equals 4x minus 10. Well, can I keep solving that? Yeah, how do I do that? You want to minus the 4x? Sure, that works. Oh, the plain 4? Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's more than one way to do it. Okay, so I have -3x equals 4x minus 14. Now what? Now minus that 4x, sure, why not? So that's -7x equals -14. Divided by -7. X is what? 2. Okay, does it matter which one I plug it into? No. Okay, doesn't matter because it has to work out in both in order for it to be correct. So y equals -3 times 2 plus 4, because I'm just replacing that x with that 2 because we know that's the solution. -3 times 2 is -6. So -6 plus 4 gives me what? -2. X comma y, 2, -2. One more for safekeeping, okay? Do one more for safekeeping. Let's try 13. Let's try 13. Okay? I see y equals this junk right here, right? So wherever I see a y in the other equation, I'm going to replace it with that x minus 4. Okay? -4x minus 6 parentheses. Replace it with that x minus 4. Literally substitute it in for it. That's where they get the name substitution. Just like if you were playing basketball and someone has to sub in for you, they play your position when you leave. Okay. What should I do now? Yeah, I got to multiply that -6 through both terms. So I actually have to distribute it. Yep. Okay. -6 times x is -6x. -6 times a -4 plus 24 equals -16. Now the reason that looks different is because this is 2 terms in here. Now there's that minus sign in between. So you have to distribute. We haven't had 2 terms in there yet. Well, I would add like terms before I do anything else. And that's on the same side of the equation, so you're just combining those like terms. What's a negative 4x minus another 6x? Negative 10. So I have negative 10x plus 24 equals negative 16. Now what? Minus 24. Right here. And negative 4 and the negative 6 together. Gives me that negative 10. And that's gonna, the negative 16 minus 24 is a negative 40. So x is 4 when I divide by negative 10. I'm going to choose to put it in the top one. Again, it doesn't matter. Y equals, instead of x, I'm going to write 4, because I know that's 4. Minus 4. Oh, 4 minus 4, that's 0. So 4, 0. So remember, yesterday, when we had two lines and they intersected, we got answers like this, an x comma y. Okay? But we did have a situation where they were parallel, right? And what's my solution? No solution. Okay, that's going to actually come up today. How it comes up is that when you're starting to solve and all of a sudden you lose all the variables, they're gone. So if you plug one into the other and all of a sudden the variables are all gone, then you're either going to have one of those situations that those lines would be parallel, or the lines would be exactly the same and you'd have infinite. Okay, so if you lose all the variables after you're starting solving and all you're left with numbers, and the numbers make sense, meaning, let's say I have 3 on this side of the equation and 3 on this side of the equation. Does 3 equal 3? Yeah, that makes sense. So that's infinite. Now, if it doesn't make sense, what's your answer? No solution. So if you have like all your variables are gone and you have 0 equals negative 5, that doesn't make sense. That's no solution. Question. You're okay? Okay, perfect. So if your variables disappear on you when you're starting to work it out, remember your two options are no solution or infinite. Okay, hop to it.